It was the summer of 2010 when Sean and Catherine first met Chris Watts. At the time, she had been struggling with health issues, including her battle with lupus, and was hesitant about opening her heart again after previous disappointments. But Chris was different. He was soft-spoken, steady, and had a quiet charm that made her feel at ease. When they first connected through mutual friends, Shannon was cautious, but Chris pursued her with patience and sincerity. Their first date was simple yet unforgettable. They met at a cozy cafe in North Carolina, where Shannon hesitated at first, afraid of getting too close. But as the evening went on, she found herself laughing, something she hadn't done in a long time. Chris listened intently, his blue eyes filled with admiration. By the time the date ended, she felt something shift inside her, a newfound hope that love might still be possible. As weeks passed, their bond deepened. They spent long hours on the phone, talking about their past, their dreams, and their hopes for the future. Chris proved to be dependable, always showing up when Shannon needed him the most. His presence became a comfort, and in him, she saw a future she never thought she would have. Chris and Shannon's relationship blossomed as they began traveling together. From weekend trips to the mountains to long road trips exploring the country, they created beautiful memories. Chris admired Shannon's strength and determination, while she adored his calming presence. They visited the beach often, watching the sunset and talking about the life they wanted to build together. Their love story grew in the presence of their families. Chris was welcomed into Shannon's world, and she into his. They celebrated birthdays, holidays, and special milestones together, each moment solidifying their bond. Chris's quiet demeanor balanced Shannon's outgoing personality, and it seemed like a match made in heaven. 2 years into their relationship, Chris planned something special. On a crisp autumn evening in 2012, Chris took Shannon to one of their favorite spots, a secluded park lined with twinkling lights. They had spent many evenings there, talking about their dreams, and it was the perfect place for what Chris had planned. As they walked hand in hand under the glow of the lights, Chris suddenly stopped, turned to her, and got down on one knee. With a small velvet box in his trembling hands, he looked into her eyes and said, "Shannon, I want to spend my life with you. Through every challenge, every joy, I want to be by your side. Will you marry me?" Tears welled in Shannon's eyes as she nodded, overwhelmed with happiness. She had found her forever in Chris. That night, they celebrated their engagement, filled with dreams of a beautiful future. Their wedding was a dream come true. Surrounded by friends and family, they exchanged vows that spoke of eternal love, trust, and devotion. They danced under the soft glow of fairy lights, believing their love would last a lifetime. Shortly after their wedding, Chris and Shannon moved to Colorado, eager to start fresh. They bought their dream home, a spacious 2-story house with a backyard perfect for raising a family. Their joy multiplied when they welcomed their first daughter, Bella, followed by Celeste a few years later. Shannon was overjoyed, frequently posting about their happy family on social media. She shared pictures of Chris playing with the girls, family outings, and heartfelt messages about how lucky she was to have a husband like him. From beach vacations to festive Christmas mornings, their love story seemed picture perfect. But sometimes perfection is only an illusion. As the years passed, life became more demanding. Shannon's job required frequent travel, leaving Chris home with the girls. At first, it seemed manageable, but soon something changed. Chris became distant. The once loving husband who sent her good morning texts and planned surprise date nights no longer did. His affection waned. His conversations grew shorter, and his presence felt hollow. Shannon noticed the difference. She tried to reassure herself that it was just a phase, that every marriage had its ups and downs. But deep inside, she felt something shift. Her once reliable husband had become a stranger. What she didn't know was that Chris had met someone else. Instead of being honest, instead of working through their struggles, he withdrew. The love that had once been so strong now felt like an echo of the past. Everything. On August 13th, 2018, Shannon returned home from a business trip, exhausted but eager to talk to Chris. She had sensed something was wrong for weeks, but she refused to give up on the love they had built. She spent the weekend sending him messages, pleading for answers, but his replies were cold. Still, she held on to hope. That night, as she lay beside him. She could never have imagined that it would be her last. The hands that had once held her with love now betrayed her in the most unimaginable way. In mere moments, their years of love and commitment were reduced to silence. But the horror did not end there. Their daughters, Bella and Celeste, woke up to a nightmare. Instead of protecting them, their father carried them away from their home to an oil field, where their innocent lives were stolen. The love that had built their family was erased in the most horrifying way. Chris played the role of the worried husband, pleading for his family's return. But love leaves traces, and lies crumble under the weight of truth. The world soon learned what he had done, recoiling in horror at the betrayal of a man who had once been Shanann's everything. Now, their once happy home stand abandoned, frozen in time. Some say shadows flicker in the windows, whispers echo through the halls, remnant of love that should have never ended in tragedy. The laughter of Bella and Celeste, the warmth of Shanann's love, all now nothing but echoes in an empty house. Neighbors whisper about strange occurrences, lights flickering at odd hours, the sound of soft footsteps when no one is inside. Some believe that Shannon and her daughters never truly left, their spirits lingering in the place they once called home. Shannon had loved Chris with all her heart. She believed in their forever. But sometimes, even the deepest love cannot save a heart that is turned to stone. The end.